Welcome back to Bondo Betty Gets a Welder part number 2. If you saw our last video, you saw how we replaced these floor pans and did all of that. We still have some more welding to do. I'm going to try to see if I can get the inspector to work with us on this back part. So that probably won't be part of this video, but you get some tranny oil in here, or at least check it, and a few other odds and ends. Get this car on the ground, and we will then work on the left front. So one thing I have yet to check, because I didn't have the right size Allen wrench, is the transmission fluid. So we're going to do that right now. Got to show you how I did this. Put the Allen wrench in here. Then I used a box end wrench to get leverage on this Allen key. Well, I don't know how low it is, but it's a little low on fluid, so we're going to run to the auto parts store and get some. Well, one thing I decided I would do is pull the drain plugs and drain the fluid, since I don't know how old the fluid is, and B, how much was in there. Pretty dirty, does not smell burnt, doesn't feel gritty, so that's all a good sign. But we'll let this drain for today, and we'll stop over at the auto parts store and get some more 80-90 gear oil and come back and clean this up and put it all together, and then think about getting the car back on the ground. Something pretty cool here is I'm cleaning this drain plug out of the bottom of the transaxle, and it has a magnet on the bottom, and with it being stamped VW, I'm sure that's stock from the factory. That is super cool. Interestingly, there are 2 drain plugs in the bottom of the transaxle, and before I clean the second one up, this is the front one. I'd just like to show you how much gunk is surrounding that magnet. A lot. Alright, at Gear Oil IV, I have this funnel attached to this farm jack, which is just taped there, and then have it running down this hose in here to the opening, and we think we have oil going in there. Not exactly certain if it's working, but it's going in slowly. And of course I wasn't paying attention, but there's obviously still oil in the hose, and when I put it on the ground it spilled a bunch of oil. So we'll get the floor dry out and clean that up. It's been a couple of days since I filled the transmission up with fluid, and you can see how this front bung is leaking fluid. It has leaked a lot of fluid. I mean, it's just a drop at a time, but it's still quite a bit. Way more than I want to see happen. The rear bung went in further than this one here. I'm kind of reluctant to over tighten it, but looks like I definitely need to tighten it more before I put the car on the ground. Okay, I tightened it up a little bit more, at least another whole turn. It's really in there good. I wiped it off. Hopefully that does it, because now we're going to put Betty back on the ground. Okay, it is time to deal with the next problem on Bondo Betty's extensive list. It's hard to see here because not enough light, but when you have the right front wheel turned, it is contacting the firewall, although I don't know if that's technically a firewall. Here's a view from on top, and a view with the wheel straight and the hood open. So the plan is to cut this area here out and bring it back to that. The right way of fixing this is probably to fix the beam area. We know this car was in a wreck at one point, but the car drives straight, and so we're going to leave it like it is. Now that I got the front wheel off, you can see where it's rubbing and pretty much where we're going to try to adjust. Okay, we have got a great big hole in here. We cut out the offending sheet metal, and now I think I'm going to put the tire back on, and we will put the car back on the ground and see about clearance. Got the wheel back on, the car on the ground. You can see where I've cut out. It's pretty conservative on how high I cut that. It looks really, really close. And when we look at it from inside the car, it's even worse. And there's no interior in. And if I just put a little bit of my body weight on, you can see that it is contacting right there. I've cut out a larger hole, and as you can see, the clearance is way better. Now I'm going to kind of probably make a cardboard template first, and we will try to see about patching this in here. Yeah, I think we're gonna do cardboard first. Okay, I have cut this piece right here, bent this in, and I'm gonna hammer that up. That way I can join all that right there. I think it'll make this an easier install. So I was thinking about, after I bent this up, using this piece here, but if you look, that's some pretty thin sheet metal. So I think I'm going to cut it off even with that, and then weld in a patch panel here once I have all of that welded in. Okay, I've cleaned up the hole, wire brushed around it, and we are going to try to put that patch panel in right there. This is a 22 gauge piece of sheet metal. Hopefully it's not too thin and I don't burn through everything, but here we go. Here goes nothing. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so far we are tacking the bottom edge in of this piece of sheet metal, and we're just going to keep pushing it in and making it fit. Well, here is the completed patch panel. I had to add a couple of pieces here and there to tie everything in just right, because I either blew through the metal, or like over here we knew it was thin. So pretty happy. We'll check the tire clearance here in a minute, and hopefully get this thing on the road at some point today. Gonna double check, make sure the transmission's not leaking before we do get it on the road, but we're getting closer. So as you can see, there's plenty of clearance when the tire is straight away, but let's give this a turn and see what it looks like now. Well, that's full right lock, and as you can see, it's not touching, but it's barely not touching. But it's not touching. So yeah, that was the improvement we were looking to make. And when I do a partial turn, you can see there's tons of clearance. So we've definitely solved the problem that panel needed to be done for. All right, well, we got her back on the road. We're out here running these back roads. She's running good. She's running real good. I think the transmission's still leaking. I'll have to diagnose that another day. Quick question for you. This side's still got the rock rail on it. This side over here, I had to take it off to repair the floor. What do we like better? Do we like it better without the rail or with the rail? I kind of am leaning towards having the rail on it. This thing is running good. I mean, it's still a lot of fun. She's a beater, but my God, is it fun. Thank you for paying attention. Ta-ta for now. We'll let you know what's going on in the next one.